How we doing once again on this Wednesday? Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel, where we talk Tennessee baseball, basketball, Lady Vols basketball, and going to bring some Tennessee football today. This is one recently I did a video where I talked about where Kevin Simon, Robert Peace's sons, Kenneth and JP respectively, were offered scholarships by Tennessee. Well, one that's in the news, and I did a video, it's been a minute, it's been a while back on it, is Cooper Whitten. And people asking that video, what are Cooper Whitten's plans? Well, there's some more concrete information that's out there, courtesy of On3, which I'll get into. But make sure you hit that like, share out the content. Anybody you know that has not found the channel, share that out. Just hit 4,000 subs. Thank you so much. We're a little bit over that. Let's get on that ride to 5,000 now. Let's keep building it here. Really appreciate you guys. But let's get into this thing. Cooper Whitten, Tennessee. Yeah, there's interest there. Cooper Whitten is scheduled to visit Tennessee this coming weekend. It is one where Tennessee, apparently, they just had their 865 live this past weekend. Now they've got the Big Orange BBQ coming up this weekend. It looks like it's more targeted towards 27, 28 prospects. Of course, Cooper Whitten is one of the top 2027 prospects in the whole country. He's rated the #1 linebacker in the class. Now, obviously, if you're not aware, he is the son of former Vol legend Jason Whitten. And there is that connection there. And Cooper Whitten did say when Tennessee offered him back in August that the family is big ball fans. They love the offer. Jason Witten's not putting the pressure on him to go to Tennessee, though. And that's what a lot of the dads that have played do. They kind of let their sons make them. That's what they say anyway. I mean, a lot of times your legacies, if that legacy school wants them, a lot of times they get. I'm not saying it happens all the time. But, you know, somebody had mentioned on that Simon and Peace video, talk about Butch Jones. Butch Jones had some really good luck with getting legacy recruits in. Now, not all of them panned out, but still yet he was able to build some really good classes with those legacy recruits. I mean, to me, the most underutilized player that I've watched, maybe second, Kamara is right up there, but Evan Berry. There was no reason Evan Berry was not an offensive player under Butch Jones. The dude, every time he touched a kickoff, or I can't remember if he returned punts, I'm thinking he did, but definitely kickoff, he could go to the house. So Kamara, I mean, probably Kamara's #1. Evan Berry could have been electric on offense. But anywho, Cooper Whitten's listed right now, according to On3, 6'1", 210. Now, according to his rankings on it, On3, just the regular On3 rankings, they have him 12th overall on it. The On3 industry rankings has him 19th. Now, I've talked about how some of these rankings fluctuate over time. Each of them just have him as a 4-star. I think it changes based on where they're at because the industry ranking of 19, On3 has him 17, 24/7 has him as 4-star, ESPN a 4-star, 24/7 has him 25th overall, ESPN 19th overall. Rivals, though, has him 4-star, 62 overall. I'm curious to see how the Rivals rankings are going to impact with the, the merger with On3 and Rivals. So that'll be interesting to see how all that happens along the way. But there's some pretty fascinating things on Cooper Whitten. So one thing to keep in mind here, though, Tennessee, yeah, there's a legacy school for him. But based on the interviews I've seen, he has a lot of offers out here. And one that I think Tennessee is going to really have to out-recruit is Notre Dame for him. Steve Wilfong says Notre Dame has come out of the gate strong for him. Cooper Whitten is, and he may have already been to Notre Dame. I'll have to look at that here. Notre Dame had their grill and chill. Not sure if they have the Dairy Queen blizzards there or not for the grill and chill, but anyhow, they had their event geared more towards underclassmen. Cooper Whitten spoke highly of Notre Dame and how he really liked the environment there. So you can't just assume that Cooper Whitten is going to go to Tennessee. You can't. If Tennessee assumes it, they're going to watch him play in South Bend here in a couple years. But Texas, Oklahoma, some of these, and the Texas, when he talked about that, Texas offered him, and he was non-committal about visiting there. But Notre Dame, he spoke glowingly of. And sometimes you can kind of tell, I mean, recruits will talk about these along the way. But Tennessee and Notre Dame, to me, are the two he spoke the most highly of. Here's something that's really fascinating to me on this. In the article talking about where he's visiting Notre Dame. Let me pull this back up here. So this was actually, this was just yesterday that they put the article out about him visiting. So at the end of next week, he will visit Notre Dame. So here was something that was really interesting in one of the articles I found, though. This was the one talking about where Texas offered him, but they put some highlights of him. So he does track and field also. In his spring, one of his track meets, he was clocked. Now, it says he's 213 pounds here. He was clocked in August at 24.4 miles per hour running. That is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how that ranks in terms of if you got up into the Tyreek Hills and some of these guys along the way. But that at that size is absolutely crazy. That is amazing athleticism, athletic ability that he brings to the table. And again, him being a 2027 recruit, he's just going to be a sophomore this coming year. So, I mean, you got 3 more years of what this dude is going to do, how big he gets, how much stronger he gets. Obviously, his dad being is Jason in the Hall of Fame yet? I'm trying to think on that one. He should be. Let me look at that one. Yes, he is. Wait, he's eligible in 2026. Okay. All right. That makes sense. I was not sure on that. Jason Witten's easily a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that when he was a top-notch tight end for all those. I don't know if he's first ballot. I mean, to me, he is, but I'm not a voter either. But knowing that Jason Whitten played, obviously, Tennessee for 3 years, then he went pro after his junior year, played so many years for the Cowboys, then he went to the Raiders. The guy knows a thing or two about what it takes to get there. So with Jason Whitten coaching high school in Texas, now Cooper Whitten playing for Jason Whitten, I would sit here, I don't know all the ins and outs of the program, but I would venture to say Jason Whitten knows a thing or two about a strength and conditioning program. And if you look at picture of Cooper Whitten, the dude is put together. He is put together very well, especially for a guy going into his sophomore year next year. It's a big one to look out for along the way. Can Tennessee for 2027 get Cooper Whitten in the fold? And, that's obviously going to bear watching on that. And let me look here. Maybe I'm wrong about him being a sophomore. Maybe he'll be a junior next year. He would have to be, right? No, I'm right on that. Okay, I'm overthinking this one right now. So he should be, based on everything I've seen, he was just a freshman this past season. All right, I kind of started overthinking myself right there. So Cooper Whitten's still got a while to go. Number 1 linebacker in the land. Now, for me, and what's interesting, I'll kind of get into wrapping this thing up, though. But Tennessee right now, one of the big things, and I think they're going to continue progressing on that, was last year, Dylan Sampson and that defense is why Tennessee did what they did. Make no mistake about it. I know there's these hot topics out there talking about, well, Joey Aguilar, they're going to take a step back and this and that. No, they won't. They won't. I'm not saying his ceiling is what Nico's ceiling is, but the bottom line is Joey Aguilar can come in and give this team more than what Nico did last year, in my opinion, and I could be wrong on that one. But what I'm liking is William Inge. You had 865 Live this past weekend. They have really targeted Braden Rouse, linebacker out of Georgia. And it really seems they're in on that. And some of the words they've talked about him anchoring the defense for a while. With William Inge and the way he's recruiting, they recruited the linebacker position really well. This current signing class, you already had some pretty good, it's still an unproven unit, but I think it's going to take it's got to take those steps this year with Arion Carter, T. Lander, some of these other guys coming in, Edwin Spillman. Now you build on it with Rouse. If you get him in the fold, then you get into the Cooper Whitten class as well. This unit is taking off. For me, the one I've got to see is safety. We've got to start getting some of these big-time dudes in at safety because McCullough was not recruited by this staff. Turrentine transfer. Will Brooks, walk-on that they basically lucked into. So now you've got to look at, where do we get? We've got to hit on some of these high school safeties. That's where your studs come from. That's where they come from. Caleb Downs transferring from Bama to Ohio State. Player of that caliber doesn't transfer often. Tennessee obviously got some safety transfers last year. It didn't pan out. Jacoby Thomas chose the money over that dream of playing for Tennessee. But defensive recruiting, though, is getting better. It's continuing to get better as what they did here as well. They're going to bring players in. Yeah, NIL is going to be part of it. That's part of it moving forward as well. But 865 Live was a success going into June, which I'll have some more content on as well. June's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. This is the big recruiting month of the year at this point for 2026 now. It'll be the same next year for 2027 as well. This is your big cycle there along the way. Make sure you hit the like, the share, the subscribe. Once again, check out the links in the description for the channel memberships, the channel Patreon as well. Or if you just want to say thanks, super thanks, bottom right-hand corner, they're greatly appreciated as well. But this is Frank, House of Orange. Last but not least, I'll see you when I see you.